Hey, if you don't like the work that you do, if you don't like your job, then you're not alone, are you? You will be like millions of people, and I mean millions of people all over the world who trudge to work with heavy hearts on a daily basis doing jobs that they don't like, living a miserable existence for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And the tragedy of this is it means that they spend much of their lives, up to half of their lives, doing something that they don't like. Half of their lives doing something that they hate. And I mean, they hate big time. And by any measure, that is a really big waste of time. Even worse, it's a big waste of a life. And for these people, their jobs are literally making them ill. Do you know that it's a fact that a high percentage of heart attacks occur on a Monday morning between the hours of 9 and 10 o'clock? Not a surprise, because it's a result of returning to work after a weekend and returning to a place where you don't want to be, and which leads to untold stress in the body. Is that you? Is this you? Many people separate their work and their home lives. Work is work, home is home, and they try to rationalise their unhappiness away. Well, here's the thing, you really can't do it. You can't do this. You can't separate the two, because we only get one life to live, and both work and home, they both combine, both those lives combine to make your life. It's just one big thing. It's a life, your life. Many people change their jobs frequently because they're searching for utopia, for that great job to come their way, where they can be happy at last, where they can be happy, but they never ever find that happy place, because although they may change their job, there's one thing that they do not change, and that is their attitude, their outlook. I've been one-to-one coaching a young guy for a number of weeks. He's a young lion, and I'm setting him up for success, setting him up to be happy in his work. And it's reminded me of how we need to position ourselves, me and you, mentally, how we need to position ourselves in our outlook, so we look at our work through a positive pair of eyes to enable ourselves to enjoy our work no matter what that work is. So I want to share with you, if you is that unhappy person who truly doesn't like being at work, and it's no matter who you are, no matter how old you are, no matter whether you are just starting out at work or you've been at it for the long term. It doesn't matter what your position is that you hold, no matter if in fact you own the company. The fact of the matter is that you can make changes in yourself that will instantly take you to a better place, and it will enable you to view your workplace from a different perspective, and it will enable you to literally enjoy a larger part of your life. What a big prize to go for. So here we go. Let's dive in straight away. Let's start at the beginning. Now, at the beginning, as we all know, there were just two people around, Adam and Eve. The world started with them and revolved around them. And today, the world is about people. And the world, including your workplace, revolves even around people. Whether that be colleagues, supervisors, managers, bosses, whether that be owners or suppliers or customers. Because at the end of the day, they are all people interrelating, connecting or disconnecting with each other. So here's the thing, it's my best piece of advice. If you have a worker, a colleague, a supervisor or a manager that don't do people and they work for you, if you as a business owner, and there are people out there who proudly declare that they don't do people. I don't do people. My best advice to you is get rid of them as quickly as you can, because just like, a rotten apple in a barrel that will start to make all the rest of the apples go off, that rotten person in your business will start to make the colleagues around them go rotten too. You know that this is true. We've all experienced that nasty person, haven't we? Who has everybody on edge and who can bring the positivity level down in a room just by walking into it. For example, the worst person that I experienced was I experienced this as a young man. The worst person that I experienced was a lady who I will refer to as Avril. Avril was a miserable person. If miserable would have been made an Olympic event, we would have entered Avril into it because she would definitely have scored. She would have won a gold medal. Avril was nasty. She was miserable. She had a bad word for everything and for everyone. And she was, she's only young herself with that bad attitude. I'd greet her first thing every single Monday morning by saying, "Hi, Avril, how was your weekend?" And she would scowl at me and literally spit the words at me. "What's it got to do with you?" And I'd think to myself, well, I don't really give a shit. I was just trying to be nice. And the funny thing about Avril was everybody would be on eggshells around her because God forbid that someone should upset Avril. And that's how it can be in the workplace. Miserable people being allowed to stay in the business, pulling people's good feelings, their morale and their positivity down by their demeanour, by their very being. And with everybody around them, watching their backs around them and treating them differently. Is this to reward them for the way they are? My advice to business, to any business, is that if you have this type of character in your business, get them out of your business as quickly as you can, for it will enable your business to breathe lighter, to move forward with positivity. And then when you do that, when you make that happen, you just watch your colleagues that are left in the business. Watch how they get a lift out of that departure of that miserable person. As an aside, do you know that Abraham Lincoln, an American president, he once sacked a man because he didn't like his face, and everyone said you can't do that. He said, well, would you like to look at that man's face every day? Well, anyway, we have digressed. Let's get back to the topic. This is how to start enjoying the work that you do. Here's the message. Simply enjoy people. When you go to work, especially if it is your business, go to work to do people. Place people at the heart of all of your endeavours. Go to work to help people. Go to work to have a great time. Go to work to make people's day. Go to work to have fun, to have a laugh. Yeah, what a novelty to have a laugh at work. Lighten up and things will lighten up around you. Because if you stiffen up, things will stiffen up around you. And these things, relationships, friendships, teamships, the business, will stiffen up, will tighten up, and will become brittle, and will become fragile and likely to break. So, go to work to make people's day. If your work is lacking in thank yous, smiles, how can I help yous, teamwork, great morale, etc., 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 here's some advice. Don't just stand around at the work bus stop, the metaphoric work bus stop. Don't just stand around there waiting for the big thank you bus to turn up, waiting for the smile bus to turn up, waiting for the teamwork bus to turn up, for the great morale bus to turn up. Because I would suggest that if you is waiting at that bus stop right now, waiting for all these buses to turn up for you and to deliver what you want for you, you're going to be waiting there for a very long time. Instead, make the first move. Give a smile. You'll get one back. Give a thank you. You'll get one back. Give some support. You'll get that support back. Create great morale around you and you will get great morale back. Why will this happen? Because it is the rule of the universe. That's why it's the law of attraction, which says what you give out, you will get back. And you will always, always get back more than you give out. And if your boss, if the big man, the big IC, the man in charge, the lady in charge, is lacking in people skills, then take it upon yourself to train them upwards. Train them from the ground up. I suggest, what I'm suggesting, that you go to work to do people first. The work then falls secondary, but obviously is still massively important. But if you do people first, trust me on this, the work becomes easier. Now, this may seem like just a silly notion, but if work teams are switched into people, into supporting and into laughing and into playing, into making work play, individuals start to feel happier. in the workplace and magic happens. Everything starts to improve. Motivation, output, standards, service, morale, great KPIs, they all start improving. All this takes place. And it's taking place where I've been training my young lion. And here's a little story about that. So I've been training this young guy, this young lion, for weeks, and we've been putting the people first. My young lion is coming to work to do people first, with work a close second, obviously. He comes to work with smiles, with laughter, with jazz hands on his mind. And it's infectious. It's rubbing off on the other team members. And there is a buzz about the place. The store has got a regular customer. A little test this is, a regular customer. He's in first thing every morning. He just happens to be a priest. And he commented to me the other day, I just love coming in here every morning. You've got such a buzz going on, such an energy around the place, and it just makes me feel great. I'm telling you, when you're doing this, it's powerful stuff. It draws people to and into your business, makes your colleagues work great, feel great, and makes them want to stay. If you're that worker who's not happy at work, my advice, change your outlook, change your attitude. A is for attitude. Change your mentality. M is for mentality. Follow the advice that I've given you. Do not worry. Don't worry about anyone else. If they're not happy, so what? Don't worry about it. Just worry and concentrate on you. And you will find that your mood, your outlook will change, and it will start to rub off on others around you. It just takes one lone voice to start a revolution. So if your workplace, if you are in need of a revolution, start talking to yourself now. Do people first and make it happen, because at the end of the day, if you're not happy, what have you got to lose? May seem like a very silly notion. Do people first. People, it's all about people. Planet's all about people. People, people, people. Put the people first and watch your mentality, watch your morale, watch your job satisfaction improve too. Thanks for listening. Bye.